All right, we're going to look at our economy today in a way you probably never seen it before, as a hand-drawn map. Believe it or not, this one little sketch reveals two totally different engines for creating wealth. So, come on, let's trace the lines and see exactly where they lead.
I mean, think about it for a second. What does an economy actually look like? It's a question we just don't really stop to ask, right? We hear all about GDP, we see the stock market tickers flashing by, but what are the actual moving parts? How does it all connect to, generate all that wealth?
Well, here's one possible answer. This single sketch, it lays out two completely distinct paths for building an economy. Now, the top path, that's the one you'd find in pretty much any textbook. It's the classic model. But the bottom path, that is a radically different approach. So we're going to break down both of them, and we'll start with the one we all think we know.
Okay, first up, let's look at the top half of this drawing. This is the established economic engine. The model you'd see it in a developed nation. And yeah, it might seem like that classic textbook stuff, but seeing it laid out visually like this, it really, really reveals how all the different pieces are supposed to fit together.
So let's do just that. We're going to trace the flow of value in this system. We'll start at the absolute foundation and follow the chain all the way to the end to its ultimate goal, profit.
So look closely at the starting point. See that? Everything is built on this solid foundation of tech and infrastructure. That's what allows the next layer to even exist, the established businesses and brands. And those players then go and compete in this really complex arena made up of markets, media, and a formal labor force. And the final output of this entire engine? Well, it's products and, of course, profits. Okay, but let's zoom in on that markets box for a second, because it's not just one thing, right? It's an entire ecosystem. This is the really sophisticated financial plumbing of the whole system. We're talking stock markets, public listings, insurance, the whole shebang. It's all designed to let capital flow and help businesses grow on a massive scale. All right, so let's shift gears completely. We've seen the established model. Now, let's look at the bottom of the drawing and see how this thing builds a totally different playbook for economic development. And this second path is, well, it's just fascinating, because it doesn't even try to copy the first one. It's aiming for the exact same goal, profit, but it starts from a completely different set of building blocks. So let's trace this new flow, shall we? The foundation here, it isn't technology, it's government and education. Now from there, you still need the connectors, right? Infrastructure and logistics, but here's where we see the radical shift. The engine isn't formal businesses. It's open source labor and people. It is a much, much more direct, ground-up way to generate profit. And this really illustrates the core difference perfectly. In that traditional model, labor is basically a component that gets plugged into a giant corporate machine. But in this new model, open source labor is something totally different. It's this agile, networked force that flows directly from education to empower people, letting them create value on their own terms. See the difference? But wait, this new playbook has one more piece. And this piece isn't just different, it's potentially disruptive. Let's go ahead and zoom in on the single most unique element in this entire diagram. So as you're looking at this new system, you can see the flows, right? From people and social media, all leading towards profit. But what's actually driving that conversion? What's the real wild card in all of this? The wild card is this, the AI agent. According to this map, this thing isn't just another tool in the toolbox. No way. It's the central node, the very heart of the network. It's positioned to interact with every single other part of the system. It's acting as the primary engine for generating profit. So how does it even work? Well, according to this diagram, the AI agent is actively monitoring social media. It connects directly with people, and it interfaces with the banks. What it's doing is essentially bypassing many of those traditional corporate and market structures to create a direct line to making profit. It's a powerful and totally new kind of economic actor. Okay, so let's pull back now and put these two models right next to each other, because seeing them side by side, man, it really highlights the fundamental differences in how they approach creating value. And when you look at them like this, the difference is just stark, isn't it? On the left, you've got that intricate, multi-layered machine of the developed economy with all its formal institutions. And on the right, a much more streamlined, people-centric, and, digitally native system. The structures, the flows, the core drivers, they are simply worlds apart. So let's just boil this all down to 3 key takeaways. First, their foundations are completely different. One is built on existing tech, the other is built on government and education. Second, their labor systems. One is structured and formal, the other is super flexible and open source. And finally, the main profit driver. One relies on those complex market systems we talked about, while the other, it leans on a powerful central AI agent. And all of this leaves us with one huge question. Is this second model just some theoretical sketch on a piece of paper, or are we actually getting a preview of the future? Could emerging economies really use AI to build entirely new systems, and in doing so, effectively leapfrog that whole decades-long process of traditional development? The answer to that? Well, it could redefine how we think about wealth for the next 100 years.